Yo, 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 what's up, YouTube fam? It's your boy, Stevenson Lindor. I'm back with another video. It's been a while. All right, as always, first and foremost, before we get started, make sure you like, share, comment below, but most importantly, subscribe to this channel, share it with a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. And if you're interested in the free Telegram community, it's in the description box below. And then if you want access to our private community, you can shoot me an email, send me a message, reach out to me on any social media platform. All my social media handles are in the description box below. All right. So, I've been trading with the community. I've been good. Sorry, I've been MIA. I know I promise you guys videos every single week, but so much has been going down outside of trading. I've had to put my attention and focus on, but everything's been great. The community's been amazing. Guys have been absolutely killing it. The last 3 weeks in the market has been absolutely a blessing. Crypto, I'm telling you. I couldn't ask for a better 90-day start to the year. Okay, guys. And upon this journey, I've been realizing something. I get on here, I drop a lot of, educational videos, of course, showing potential setups and plays and how to get access. But I realized something. A lot of people, with all these videos out here, they really don't understand the basics when it comes to trading. I've been talking about it a lot on my in my community, inside my group channels, inside the academy where I educate and teach at. And I've been talking about the basics, the basics, basics. So we're going to take this back. And, understanding the basics is everything. Okay. It's the key to anything that you're trying to learn. Doesn't matter whether it's trading, whether it's trying to play a sport, whether it's trying to learn, mathematics or something. If you don't understand the basics, it's going to be very, very hard for you to master a craft. All right. So I want to take this back because what's the point of me dropping all these phenomenal trade ideas? If we go to the Telegram real quick, we're going to get to the charts, guys. I got you. I got you. Right. But I wanted to take this time to really just educate. So tonight's session is just going over basics and just understanding those basic principles. I'm telling you, I promise you, it's going to take you from point A to Z in no time, right? So like I said, my community's been doing great. These guys have been absolutely killing it, marking up charts. Guys, this is where you want to be. I'm not going to lie to you. You want to be inside here. You want to be inside here trading with us. Again, one thing I do 100% do is morning sessions. So these guys know, I do morning sessions every single morning, for the most part, 4 or 5 times a week. A lot more active than I am in the Wall Street 2.0. All right. Actually, I haven't posted since April 6th, but even then, the last few trade setups that I told you guys to watch out for, they played out very, very well. And I'm even want to go over these, how more of you guys can take advantage. And then I'll get into a little bit of crypto. But yeah, you guys really want to get inside the Trading Challenge 2025. This community right here, these guys that participate on a day-to-day basis. They're phenomenal. Shout out to every single one of them. Appreciate you guys. Uh, Iron sharpens iron, sword sharpens sword, great minds only inspire and elevate other great minds. All right. And that's what you want to be a part of. I always tell people this, the key to your success, one of the major keys to your success is your environment. Who are you surrounded by? Who are you associated with? Who are you learning from on a day-to-day basis? I'm telling you, that is very, very key. It's vital to your success. All right. What you consume on a daily basis, what you read, who you hear and listen from, it all matters. All right. So let's get into it. And like I said, I'm just going to go over basics. All right. It's going to be a basic video, but this might be that breakthrough a lot of you guys are looking forward to. Right. So I got this EU's set up. And I'm actually looking for another buy opportunity. We had this big explosion last week, and we were able to get it because we had this nice impulsive move, a retest, and then a continuation. All right. I'm going to try to dumb this down and make it as simple and easy as possible, guys. Possible. And again, if you have any questions, concerns, please type in the chat box, leave some comments afterwards. Let me know. Tell me what you need help with so we can get you to that next level. All right. So, guys, we're going to make this even more simple. Like I always say, start with a higher time frame. All right. Always start with a higher time frame. All right. Why? Your daily, your weekly, your monthly, that's your map. It is to help you understand where the market is currently at, where is it going, where has it been, is it near supply demand zone? Understanding all of this is vital, okay? Because it's going to be a lot easier for you to trade on a smaller time frame, okay? And just by understanding this downtrend, for example, like price just going on this downtrend, boom. Whether I'm on the 4 hour, whether I'm on the 1 hour, hell, whether I'm on even the 30 minute, ladies and gentlemen, I'm in a downward market. So the only thing I need to be concerned about is pullbacks, retests, the market pulling back so I can be in line with this overall downtrend and keep selling. Now, here's the thing though. Do you know how to properly, this is what you got to ask yourself, guys. You got to ask yourself, do I know how to properly identify an uptrend and a downtrend? I'm going to use the 4 hour, right? Actually, 1 hour. Give you more information. And we're just going to identify higher highs and higher lows, lower lows and lower highs, and change a character. That's it. That's the lesson for tonight. That's why you're watching this video. Understanding the basics, higher highs, higher lows, lower lows, lower highs, and change of character. That means when price goes from a downtrend to a potential uptrend, from an uptrend to a potential downtrend. All right. So price was essentially coming from an uptrend. All right. You got these higher highs. All right. And ladies and gentlemen, so you understand this, a higher high has to be higher than the previous high. All right. A higher high has to be higher than the previous high. Higher high, higher high. All right. See how this higher high is higher than the previous high? This higher high is higher than the previous high. This higher high is higher than the previous high. All right, higher highs. And what comes with higher highs is higher lows. This is a higher low. HL equals higher low for those who don't know. Higher low, higher high, higher low, right? Then you had this spike. All right, you had a spike and then you had this drop here. Okay, you had a spike. Now, when it spiked up, yes, it created a higher high. But for me, I always say a valid low or high or price breaking above or below is when the body of the candle. So if the body doesn't close, if it just wicks, it's not a valid break based on the time frame that you are trading on. Based on the time frame that you are trading on. I'm going to say that one more time. Based on the time frame that you are trading on. All right. So higher high, higher low. Higher high, right? This pulled back. It gave you a higher low. Then we had a spike, right? A wick. And then price came down. All right. And when it came down, it actually went lower than the previous higher low. This right here is what you call a potential change of character, right? Because here's the thing, you can't have a higher low lower than the previous higher low. Just like you can't say it's a higher high, but yet it's not creating a higher high. So in actuality, this was equal highs, right? This was equal highs because it was wicked. And then you had a potential change of character. All right. Then you had a potential change of character. But then afterwards, price shot back up and did create a new higher high. So now the process begins again. Remember, change of character means what? Potential change of trend. It's a potential change of trend. So remember, I'm supposed to be getting higher highs, higher lows. And the higher highs and the higher lows, the new higher highs, the new higher lows should not be superseding the previous. So when this dropped down, this, for those who thought this was a higher low, because many people get this wrong, it's lower than the previous higher low. Can't be right. So you had a potential change of character, but then price came up again. Haha, boom. Change character. Gave you a retest. Equal highs, right? Notice, and this is a good example right here. Notice, it happened again. After it gave me a higher high, it now gave me a higher low, right? Equal highs. This is an equal high, just like over here. This is an equal high. The wick did not break. But then I get a new breakdown. This break was lower than this previous higher low. Like I just said, the whole point of a higher high should be getting higher and higher. The whole point of a higher low should not, right? This higher low should be higher than the previous higher low. This higher low should be previous than the higher low, so on and so forth. So every time price potentially breaks that higher low, you have what you call a change, a potential change of character. Now, how do you know it's not going to create, right? During the retest, this where a lot of people, well, Steve, how do you know? How do you know? How do you know? Right? The retest, the pullback. See, during the retest, when it's pulling back, it should not break that previous high or low. All right, it should not break that previous high or low. So when this broke and it gave you a potential change of character, when it came back to retest, what did it do? It created a new high. If this was a real change of character, a real change of direction, it would have broke, retested, not create a new high, and then continue creating new lows. And once we would have had a second low, that's what confirms the trend, right? Two lower lows or two higher highs is what confirms the trend. Two lower lows or two higher highs is what confirms the trend. I need you guys to pay attention. That's out there. If you can understand this sequence, this part right here, I'm telling you, this is going to explode your trading. Everything else is going to be so simple. I know many of you guys, you watch a lot of videos out there, you watch other traders, a lot of people use smart money concept, supply, whatever the strategy, I promise you, it will make everything so much easier. So, when I drop a Fibonacci video or, trying to learn this or whatever, because you understand the basics, everything else is going to make perfect sense. It's going to be easy, right? So price came down, boom. There was your retest, right? There was your retest. So unlike what price did over here, when it came back to retest, it came and it created a new high, broke above here, broke above this level. Here, it didn't do that. It gave you a small retest, so it didn't break. But what didn't happen? When it retested it and came back, it didn't create a new low. Didn't create a new low. And then we got a new high again. We got a new high again. Higher high. So higher high, higher high, higher high, higher high. Price comes down. Higher low. All right. This is a higher low. Price comes up. Doesn't create a new high. Comes down. These are all equal. So same thing. higher low. Boom. No higher high. This is starting to turn equal. No higher high. See that? No higher high. Right? Comes down again. Higher low. Right? This higher low is higher than the previous higher low. Okay, cool. It goes up again. Right? But it doesn't break above this high. Doesn't break. The body doesn't close above this high. So this is all equal. Equal here, equal here. And then, since this was my last higher low, guess what? Price broke through. And I've got now a change of character. Change of character. And I got a small little retouch right there, right at the level it just broke. And now it created a new low. So now begins the downtrend, because the first break is the change of character. The second now begins the trend. Lower low. So now reverse all this. Lower low, lower high, right? Lower low. This is lower than the previous lower low, right? Lower high, lower low, lower high, right? Notice how the lower lows and the lower highs, the legs are connected. The legs are connected. The legs are connected, right? Just like the higher highs and the higher lows, the legs are connected. The legs are connected. Make sense? Right? Lower low, lower high. Okay? And you keep going. Lower low, lower high. Right? This is not a lower low. See? Price did not close below here. There's my lower low. Right? There's my lower low. Lower high. No lower low. No lower low. Right? So if I didn't get a lower low, we don't know yet. What comes? First things first, I need a what? I need a change of character. Remember that leg? This leg. Lower low, lower high. No lower low. No new lower high. So we're not in a buy yet. We're still in a downtrend. I got lower lows. The first thing that needs to come, I need that change of character. I need that change of character. Right? Boom. It's not a lower low. This is not a lower high. This is not a lower low. Did not break this low. But then what happened? We got a potential change of character. Right? Got a potential change of character. That leg. Right? That lower low, lower high. Right? Change of character. Breakout. Notice. I got a break. I got a retest. I got a potential higher high. Higher high. Higher high. Higher low. Higher high. But then what happens again? Change of character. This is all happening within this downtrend, right? A bigger scale. So yes, I have an overall downtrend on my daily. But when we go on the 1 hour, right? You have all this price action. But understanding your higher highs and your higher lows is everything. Is everything. Change of characters. Lower low, right? Lower high, right? And then there's your break, right? For those who see it, you got a small lower low, lower high here based on the smaller time frame. But I always tell people identify the lower lows and lower highs based on the time frame you're trading on. Yeah, if I went down to like the 15-minute, 5-minute, this would expand, and definitely that would be a lower low, lower high. but main thing, price did close below here, so downtrend begins. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, no lower low, right? No new lower high. Understand, for this to continue going down, this needs to break. If this is going to go on an uptrend, I need a break above here. I need that change of character. I need that change of character. So, no new lower lows, no new lower highs. Actually, did. We zoom in here. Sometimes you gotta zoom in. All right. Price did close. Look at the body. It did close. Let me remove this so you guys can see it. See, the body did close. So you got a change of character, right? Body closed. Change of character. Potential. So notice, change of character, retest, back to this POI level. So that means when would I buy? I would buy when a buyer's candle closed above a bearish candle. My buy would be around here. Short buy, all right, didn't go far. It did create a new high, right? Body did close above, small, but then what happened afterwards? What happened afterwards? You got another change of character. See, you're able to just capture these moments when you're trading, guys, and identify all these these twists and turns, these ups and downs. This is going to help you identify when you need to buy or sell in the market, just understanding the basics. So this is what the market does all day. So you want to just keep count. Okay, boom. Now we just had another change of character. So now we're going potentially back down, right? So I need a retest, which you had. This was your retest leg. This was the market pulling back. That was your retest leg. It did not close above here. And then what did it do? It created another low. So now we're back again. Lower low, lower high. Right? Lower high. And then it comes down again. Lower low. This was your lower high. And then the same thing happens, right? Keep doing this. This is what you want to practice on, guys. Being able to identify back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, right? Lower low, lower high, lower low. So right here, break. I got another change of character. So what do? I got that break. I got that retest. Price pretty much closed this gap. I wait for a buyer's candle. During the retest part, I know when to get in when I see a buyer's candle close above a seller's candle. There's my buyer's candle. And then I'm buying again. Now I'm looking for higher highs, equal highs. Why is this equal highs? Why is this equal high? Because this wicked. Price went beyond here, but it didn't close beyond here. Makes sense? So this would be equal. So we did not create a new high. All right, got another retest. And then break. Perfect. Now we got that higher high. Lower low, right? Higher high now. So now we're back to higher highs. Higher high. Higher low. Higher high. No, not higher high. Equal. This is equal. See the wicks? Equal. And then what happened? Same thing, right? So as you guys can see, it's constant back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, right? So there you go again. Change of character because this was your last lower high. This leg was connected, right? These were equal. It didn't go beyond, and then you got to change your character. Notice how you got a retest, you got a small sell-off, but when it sold off, it did not create a new low. And then it repeats itself again. Then another change of character, right? Then another small buy opportunity, but did not create a new high. Then it comes down again. And then the process keeps repeating over and over and over again, guys. And you know when you're in a trending market because, again, it just gets lower and lower and lower and lower, right? You get the lower highs and the lower lows, the lower highs and the lower lows, the lower highs, the lower lows, the lower highs, the lower lows. When you don't get the lower highs and the lower lows, that's when you question. See here? I would have stayed in this downtrend. Why? Because yes, even though price was not giving you lower lows. See here? Some of you guys would have thought, oh, Steve, change your character right here. No, this was the last leg because this leg is connected to the last lower low. The last lower low. So I need this to break. That's why this sat in consolidation, right? Then that was a news event. And then now we're back to lower lows, lower highs, and then lower lows. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can study and just practice, right? Take any chart, identify lower lows and lower highs, lower lows and lower highs, your life will change. So when we caught this buy here that was dropped in the free Telegram group, and we took this actually in our community again, right? If you watch my last video on Fibonacci, had this leg up, boom, right? There you go. Remember, we were coming on this uptrend, right? So that example you saw, that was based on this downtrend right here. Market switched over, so now we're on this uptrend. And same thing that's happening on the daily, weekly, monthly, happens on every time frame. You get higher highs and higher lows. This is a higher high. This is a higher low. It's higher than the previous high, right? It's higher than the previous high. So in the grand scheme of things, I want to look for buys because we are now in an uptrend. So we had that spike up, and then we have this correction, pullback. Now, my two favorite fib levels is the 50 and the 618. So same thing over here. All right, watch this. I'm gonna go down to the 15-minute, and I'm gonna just stay on this time frame. Really, I could just stay on the 1 hour, but I want you guys to see the price action that's being done here. All right, so that's why I'm going down on the 15-minute. All right, I'm gonna expand this, and then watch this. All right, so again, you got your higher high, you got your higher low, you got your higher high, you got your higher low, right? And then remember, this is all equal because this all wicked out. Higher high, right? And notice, break. Change your character. Retest, right? Notice your MACD retesting. It did not break this high. So every candle that you saw, a seller's candle closing below during this MACD phase, that was an entry point. So I could have entered here, right? Seller closing below a bullish candle. So that was a sell opportunity, right? I could have sold right here, right? So the next 15-minute candle, boom. Could have sold here, right? And then, of course, right here. So 1, 2, 3, you had about 4 opportunities to catch a sell, right? Because remember, my stop loss is at the next fib level, up here or above there. So that would have been good. Even if I had my entry there, about 40 pips. All right. And as you can see, there's your move to the downside. Risking 40 pips for about 150, 190, 200 pips. Well worth it. So boom. Break, retest, and now lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, right? Lower low. Did this close below? No, it did not. So we're going to take that, lower low, lower high, lower low, change a character, right? Retest, higher high. Okay, cool. So when this retest, this was a buy opportunity. Check this out. Then when price came back, what did it do? Broke, right? Remember, I'm looking for buys. I got to keep this in mind. So I'm looking for a buy opportunity. I want the buys. Keep in mind what you're looking for. The overall trend is what? Up. So I'm looking for buy opportunities. Don't get caught up selling this. All right. This is what happens when people go down to the small time frame. They get caught up. Oh, let me sell. Let me sell. Yes, you can trade both ways. Yes, you can counter trade. You can grab these sells, of course. But I got to keep in mind, again, I'm looking for buys. So when my change of character first happened right here, this is where I'm really getting excited because now I'm looking for my buy opportunity. So I caught a buy, then it pulled back on me, right? Let's say my stop loss would have been right over here. Pulled back on me, right? Whether I took profit, whether I stayed in the trade, whatever, right? Only went up about maybe 80, 90 pips. Boom, comes back down. Again, makes that new low, all right? See that? Makes that new low. Lower lows, right? Lower lows, lower high. Another change of character. Change of character. Retest. Another buy opportunity. When it came up, what happened? It created a new low, right? Didn't go and create a new high. But then, after it created a new high, low, what took place again? Right? I got another change of character. Right? Just understanding all of this, guys. This is the part of trading. Another change of character. Break. Retest. We are not breaking this low. So after this retest, as you can see, also in alignment with our MACD here, right? You see how it's going red? It's not going lower than the previous red. This is where I look for my buy. And then, voila. That was your trade to the upside. So you had 1, 2, because you would have bought here, right? Second buy entry, right? So let's say 1, 2, and then finally 3. You would have gotten, and technically your stop loss on your first buy entry was down here. So you never, let's say you stayed in the trade, you never got taken out. But let's say for argument's sake, you did. So you got taken out, On this last one, you make over 500 pips. You make over 500 pips, all because you understand your basics of higher highs and higher lows, of higher highs and higher lows, of lower lows and lower highs, and change of character. So that's essentially all I'm doing, guys. When you're seeing me drop setups, right? I'm identifying. All right, I see this. This is a strong impulse. Perfect. I want to see this pull back. And when it pulls back, it's around here I want to watch for a change of character, a retest to continue buying up. That's it. If this is going to pull back, that means there's going to be a small sell opportunity. There's going to be lower lows, lower highs. It's going to drop. There's going to be lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. But eventually, if this is going to go back up, there's going to be a change of character for a retest to buy back up. Any buy setup, guys, that you've ever seen myself do drop in the channel, it always comes from a situation like this. We also took a GN trade last week, GN and GA. Those were absolutely phenomenal, right? We actually caught the trade all the way at the top. I'll show you guys this. This was on Wednesday. So on this 1 hour, doesn't look much. You happen to be trading. And again, you can do this on any time frame. But one thing you got to realize, whatever time frame you're trading on, that's the time frame you need to stick and stay. So VPN just popped up. So for example, adios míos, where we at? All right, perfect. So this was last Tuesday. Price came up. So again, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. See what price did? Break. Broke that last higher low. Retest. Notice how it did not break this previous high. So when it was retesting, I'm waiting for a seller's candle to close below a bullish candle. That was right here. If you missed it, then right around here. And as you can see, then we get lower lows because boom. This ended up turning into close to 1,000 pip trade. Right? From up there, up there. Every time the market, even right here, guys. Let me use replay. You just come back here. Even right here. Right? It's previous high. Look. Higher high. Higher low. Higher high. Higher low. Higher high. Higher low. Higher high. See what price did? Came down. That was not a higher low. This was not a higher high. This was your change of character. Right? Right here. Because this higher low is connected to this higher high. They're connected. Erase that again. This is connected to this. Right? That's why when this higher low came down, yes, lower, but this did not create a higher high. So I needed this to get broken. And as you can see, that's where the retest happened. And when you exit out of that, there's your sell opportunity. 331 pips. All right, guys. So the lesson is practice and study your higher highs and higher lows and when to identify change of character. You don't have to keep jumping down time frame. You can stay on one time frame. One time frame. It can show you all that. Remember, there is no holy grail in trading. It's a matter of studying a strategy, following the rules, staying disciplined, and sticking with it, right? Follow the strategy, being disciplined, proper risk management, success in trading. All right? I don't want this video to be too long, overly too long, but yeah, as you guys see with the crypto market dropping as expected, right? Called it, dropped it in free channel, saw that coming. And again, every retest, look at this, right? When the market really started sinking, every retest, lower lows, lower lows. When this came back up right before it dropped, I'll show you guys again. You could even do this. Every time your MACD retest, like you see how this is retesting and it's pulling back to a POI zone or to a level, check this out. All you got to do is, right, go down to a smaller time frame. You can stay on the higher, but if you really want to see all that price action, you're going to need a smaller time frame, preferably a minute time frame. Catch all that price action. So I'll do 2 minute without having to go to the 1 minute. And there we go. And watch all that price action, right? That led to this drop right here. It was right in front of you, right? So, all right, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. And then it makes this nice consolidation, right? Corrective move comes all the way back up. But like I said, it did not go beyond, right? So this is my last higher low. And then check this out. Once that got broken, voila, break, retest. So even if you got in on your retest here and you sold, cool, sold, didn't create a new low, came back up. But remember, when it came back up, what did not take place? That new high. And then set up for a sell. Lower low, lower low, lower low, lower low, so on and so forth. All right. Guys, if you want more access to this and more training and education, like I said, shoot me an email. Let me know if you want to be a part of the private community challenge 2025. If you like the free channel group, that's cool too. Just understand, I don't put all my attention there, but shoot me an email. But I just wanted to go over this really basic video and just understanding, guys, your higher highs and higher lows, your lower lows and lower highs. You can do that. I promise you. Your trading game is going to forever change. All right, guys. So it is April 14th, 2025. Hopefully you got something educational out of this. I appreciate everybody for watching. As always, like, share, subscribe, comment. All right, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. I will see you all on the next video. I appreciate you guys. Take care. God bless. We out.